Apa, hey,
Hello and welcome to Your Body in Focus, where we give you health tips to keep your body in the best shape possible. In today's recipe, we're actually going to use quinoa, and it is one of the world's greatest superfoods. Quinoa is actually very rich in protein. It's great for those who are diabetic or just those who are trying to watch their weight or their blood sugar to manage it well. Protein actually helps to slow down high blood sugar reactions, so it's a great food for that. Protein is very important when you're trying to manage weight and blood sugar because it helps you to keep full, number one, so that you don't overeat, and number two, when you have foods that are carbohydrates by themselves, your blood sugar goes straight up. But if you have protein, because your body takes time to break it down, it breaks down a lot more slowly. The other thing that's really neat about quinoa, it is a complete protein. And this is not something that you find very often in plants. Usually animal proteins are complete proteins, like chicken or fish or beef. But quinoa is one of the few plant proteins that is a complete protein. And what that means is that it has all of the amino acids that make up a complete protein chain. So, for instance, if you have chicken, it has all of the complete protein amino acids. Whereas if you have something like nuts or beans, yes, those are proteins, but they don't have all the amino acids that are needed to have a complete protein. So basically with nuts, you'd have to mix them with a cereal or a grain to make it complete. Or with beans, you'd have to do it with a grain or a cereal to make it complete. But quinoa is complete all by itself. Quinoa is very rich in fiber. It has about 3 grams per serving, which is like a half-cup serving, which is great. Usually we'll eat like a cup or a cup and a half, so that's really good for fiber. And then another great benefit among many is that it is gluten-free. Now, gluten-free is very good for those who have gluten allergies or gluten intolerances, but otherwise gluten is actually a very nutritious food. People get confused and think, oh, if it has gluten, it's bad. No, only if you have an intolerance or an allergy. But if it is something that you have a problem with, then it is gluten-free as well. Gluten is something that you find in whole grain foods and refined foods. So it is actually the protein that you get out of wheat. Now, the problem with weight gain is actually eating refined grains. So like white bread or white tortillas or white rice. You want to have more whole grains, and that's really the ticket to managing blood sugar and weight control, rather than avoiding gluten if you're not allergic to it. So before we begin our recipe, I have a question for you, and it's true or false. We'll answer it at the end of the demonstration. True or false? Quinoa is a very nutritious grain. Let's go over our ingredients. 1 head of chopped romaine lettuce, half a head of thinly sliced cabbage, 1 bell pepper thinly sliced, 2 bunches of cilantro chopped in big pieces, 2 bunches of green onions chopped, 1 12-ounce can of corn drained, quinoa, and you're going to cook it according to the package instructions. We're going to use 3 cups cooked and cooled off, 3 cups of cooked chicken breast strips, and you're going to cut them into bite-sized pieces. Or you can use 3 cups of vegetarian chicken, whichever brand you choose. Again, you're going to cut it up into bite-sized pieces. A 1/4 cup of sweet Thai chili sauce, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, and about 4 tablespoons of the dressing. 1 avocado, and if you like, some crushed red pepper. Now go ahead and start chopping up all your ingredients, from your onions, your bell peppers, thinly slice your cabbage, and then you're just going to use a big bowl and start dumping everything in there together, including your quinoa, which is cooled. I put mine in the freezer for a little bit to cool it off. Once you've mixed all of that stuff together, then you can start adding in your dressing. I didn't really measure, but try not to use too much dressing, even though it's light, because that's where you get extra fat calories. Okay, and so when you mix that up together really good, then that's ready, and we're going to work on our chicken now. So I'm cooking both the chicken and the vegetarian chicken at the same time. As you can see here, we've got both going. Put a little bit of olive oil to cook that, not too much. Season it with the garlic salt, and then just a little bit of crushed red pepper. You don't have to put that if you don't like spicy food, but I love spicy food, so I always put some pepper in there. And you see how I'm just browning it? Once it's brown, you can add your sweet Thai chili sauce. I like to make it nice and crunchy. And then that's ready. That's the vegetarian chicken. And you can see it looks a little bit different from the real chicken. That's the real chicken brown, and then we're adding in the sauce. And then that's pretty much ready to go. Doesn't that look delicious? For garnish, we're going to go ahead and slice some avocado. Use your spoon to take it out. That keeps your shape, and it's really easy to remove. And then I always like to put the seed in there with it. That keeps the avocado from getting brown. So you serve your salad in a bowl. I like to put a lot of greens in there, and then we just top it with that warm chicken. And then, of course, garnish it with our avocado. Our quinoa Thai bowl is ready to eat. Yummy. So here's our question again. True or false? Quinoa is a very nutritious grain.
The answer is actually false. Quinoa is not a grain as it's commonly thought. Quinoa is actually a seed. It's a very nutritious seed and sometimes called a pseudo cereal, but in fact it is a seed. Well, thank you so much for watching Your Body in Focus once again. It was fun having you, and I hope you really enjoy this recipe. There's another quinoa recipe on my channel, Your Body in Focus, and look for quinoa fried rice. It's a really easy substitution and you'll love it. As usual, Focus is providing the music for today. Enjoy it if you like it. Get it on iTunes or any other Amazon CD Baby channel. Take care and keep your body in focus.